Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So I have my crystal ball off to the side. I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. And if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So channel members, you will have a collective message that will post either Friday night or Saturday morning. So definitely check that out. And if you're interested in channel memberships, that link will always be in the description box below. So we're going to use some scrolls from Scry with Scythe, and I will have her link down in the description box. Also, if you tried to check out her ebook or are interested in her ebook, that is a bunch of scrolls that she's done, or you want a hard copy of it, I do believe that she has a few left of printed copies. You can click the link down in the description box. There was some trouble with the link that was posted yesterday, and so this is a new link. Okay, that's it. All right. Taking a step aside. And allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. I don't understand how that one keeps coming up. I swear I put the last ones. I don't understand how that one keeps coming up, but it's here. It must be meant to be. Okay. I'm hearing flip it, so we're flipping it. Oh goodness, that changed on me. Changed the whole thing. Okay, so somebody right now, we're in this phase where this is like a weird initiation, and it doesn't mean that you are literally knowing, yeah, I'm in an initiation. Some of you might be, you might be experiencing an awakening right now, for example. But what this feels like is that somebody is currently going through a phase inside their life that is actually an initiation. So this might be, for example, just entering into an isolation or wondering why I'm still in isolation. That's a big one that comes up. Another person here, it might be that you lost a bunch of stuff, right? You might have lost a bunch of things out of your life and you're being given a fresh slate to start from. Others of you, it could be anything. There's all sorts of situations that could lead to this. So we'll see who this is for. But again, someone here, you have some sort of initiation that's coming in. And this is so that a higher aspect of yourself can now incorporate and integrate inside of your self, right? And what I'm seeing is I'm seeing that mirrored here. So where I got it the first time is here we have this guy going through these like Stonehenge looking gates. He's like, hey, I'm here, I've arrived. And there's this white ink thing that may not be picking up here. There we go. And it always makes me think it's descending into him. And in the same way, we have these two little kissing fish that are kissing each other, but they're merging into one because they're actually the same creature. Okay. 10 might be important for somebody, as might the number 9. Okay, so when I look over here, one of the things that I'm seeing this almost like one of the aliens from the Alien. And so there's something here that feels very foreign, something that feels a little bit threatening over here. There's no reasoning with it, whatever it is. And this feels a little bit like an aspect of the collective that I'm speaking to. It may have been a mask that we wore in the past. So I am seeing that morph right now into angel wings, but the angel has a spear and the angel spearing a dragon. So this collective, whoever I'm speaking to, in the past we may have really fallen for the false light narrative, right? Really falling into the trappings of I must cling to the light, and anything dark is evil. And in this way, we caused our shadow or subconscious spaces to suffer, an aspect of ourself to suffer. Except the thing is that those are the spaces that hold our knowledge of ourself, which is why those spaces are demonized. Someone here has had to take the mask down in order to see this about themselves. When I get into this energy, one thing that I'm seeing here is I'm seeing two beings shaking hands. It's like this higher aspect and this lower aspect now coming into union. And with the number 8 standing out to me there, it's in order to create something new. This occurred, number 7, by an inward withdrawal. So again, isolation is kind of coming in. For some of you, it may not necessarily be isolation so much as it is spending a little bit more time at home in self-reflection. Now, for some reason, I'm seeing this as a hand opening a book. So for some of you, there's been a lot of study. There may have been a lot of journaling about the experiences that you've had, for example. And there may even be an aspect of ourself that either we had to do a soul retrieval for, or that we felt was disassociated from ourselves. I'm saying that because of what's taking place down here. Now, there's something that's curving around and pointing the finger at self. So whoever this message is for, there's been a great deal of responsibility that you've taken during your healing journey in integrating this lighter aspect and this darker aspect of self, in understanding how we're at the center of our own story. We're at the center of many of the things taking place inside of our life. There is this sort of like a pig nose happening here. And so this is about sniffing scents. But it's also about like a ragged sense of breathing. So there may have been moments in this journey that were extremely painful, very, very hard to go through. But there is, with smell, if you've been watching me for any length of time, I talk about the energy perfume. We're catching the whiff of something new that is being brought into our life. So someone here, you know that you are on the precipice of something new. I'm feeling very much like this sort of, almost like a portal or a gateway energy, right? We're entering something new. And then we have this initiation where he's entering those gates. And there seems to be this feeling of, I've arrived, or, oh, I wonder what's happening. For some of you, it may be a little bit of trepidation. I just want to say I'm getting confirmation of that because I looked over and I saw the cover of the Blue Angel Oracle. I saw this man standing underneath this flower arbor. It's almost like a gate. I'm being told the colors are significant, so the color is red and blue. For some of you, having to work on your grounding, on your roots here, were very important. Now, with this, they may still be important, I just heard. Now, with this, there is this merging that's coming in. And what we seem to be merging with is over here. So before we get to that, I'm being told to pull cards for this. Okay. 2 cards, and then I'm being given symbols, so we'll get to that. Okay. So the first symbol that's coming forward is a black cat. The second symbol is some sort of weird bell. It's a weird bell. That's all I know. And then there is this chalice, but the chalice is really important for some reason. I don't know if this is something that comes from a wedding, and it was like the only one that survived, but there's something with the chalice. The chalice itself is from a very significant time. Okay, and then I see somebody like baking a cake or something, like mixing a cake or something while they're listening to this reading. There's also something about a flower that has opened, but the flower has an odd number of petals. But like it's not the number that the flower should have, right? It's like the freak flower. Let it live a long life and then dry it and preserve it for science. Okay, and then there's a picture frame that's being refinished. And then someone, right along with that, someone's hanging a piece of art. This art feels like someone within our family has done this piece of art. Okay. And then I just saw like a golden ring that has like a red ruby on it. Is it ruby? Yeah, it's ruby. Okay, so over here what we have is we have the crone and we have healing. So there's 2 storylines coming out with this. For some of you, you may have lost an older woman out of your life, and there has been a process of healing that has taken place. This healing has taken place while this was happening, while this merging of the light and the dark and taking down the masks and learning to partner have all taken place. This is significant to that. You may not necessarily realize that, but there's a reason why it happened in this time frame of learning to take the responsibility for the self. For some of you, this was a way that our past was, in essence, healed of something. It was a symbolic act, right, that took place inside of our life. For some, that's only going to be for some of you. But there has been some sort of healing that's been taking place from that. I see a flame being passed. So for some of you, there are abilities that run through your family There are also some of you that are working on clearing familial stories or familial karmas, right? I see this flame here, and then I see this flame here. So this flame passes from the crone and is trying to be healed by whoever is inside this collective. Now, I want you to notice something too. Notice this golden orb above this crone, and notice how there's a fire filling it. And then notice how in this one there's the golden orb, but the fire hasn't been filling it yet. This individual seems to have had this as their life story, right? It's their life lesson, their theme of consciousness. The part of it, though, is that as an ancestor or descendant of this person, this energy is passed from the womb. So this looks like a womb a little bit, right? And so there is this energy that we've had to clear some things that have been passed down, right? There is this energy that's coming through also inside of this, that in clearing this, there is a space that has opened up that will allow a new energy to enter, which is why it's sitting next to these kissing fish, the two fish that are merging. This is making me think of the Vesica Pisces, so two worlds merging together. Now, the other storyline that's coming out for that here is that the crone can represent sometimes the witch, right? So we're getting a little bit of this energy of a dark feminine nature, and that is something that has had to be healed within a person, whether it's through healing of the witch wound, or if it's just making peace with that aspect of yourself. Like, a lot of people really run from this aspect of themselves, right? People were burned for this aspect of the self, but this is something that is housed inside each one of us, and the more that we resist it, the more that it permeates our reality through being condescending and trying to control and trying to smother and trying to devour the light of others or the freedom of others or the, whatever it is, right? It manifests in many ways when it's out of balance. And so here what we have is again, this beautiful healing energy that's come. Okay, so I'm coughing now and I'm being shown the throat. If you look here at the throat, there's like this, it's the feathers, but then it almost looks like something stabbing the throat chakra, and then it looks like something spraying out. Some of you may be aware that there was a blockage in your communication or a blockage in your ability to speak your own personal truth, and that you would lose energy every time a situation like that was coming up. Whoever this message is for, you're either still healing this, or you've come you've healed a great portion of this, I'll put it that way, for most of you. And this is something that is allowing you to process whatever this fire is, because again, this has something to do with this individual. If it is another person, if it's not, then it's going to be whatever the crown represents for you. Now here what we're coming into is we're coming into this card of simplicity, and that may be what we're merging into. We may be feeling a little bit of the pressure that we felt here rise off of us. I feel that for many of you, there's some opportunities that are coming in. And the reason why I feel that is because this feels like a harbinger. And this is also what I'm feeling here, right? With the merging of the two energy fields, there's a harbinger around us right now, which is why we can feel this other energy kind of tapping in. Notice that there's even these two people down here. There's not a lot of people in this deck. Okay, so what is happening? Ooh, yes. Okay, so what is happening here is we have these two cards coming out. We have Triumph and Transformation. Notice the amount of orange and yellow here. Again, those very sacral and solar plexus energies that have been coming out for this collective, or any of the collectives I've been reading for here for a little while. And we also have that fire. And this fire now is gone from someone's crown to their shoulder, and now it's rooted in the earth. It's grounded. It's still there. It's always going to be a part of whoever this message is for, but now it's grounded, right? It doesn't control us. There is this sense of this bird here looking inside of the mirrors, and as they've looked inside of the mirrors, remember going back to that pointing the finger at the self that I saw in this card, this has allowed them to transform. We can't transform ourselves if we can't see ourselves truly. And with this card here, there's this sort of wing that's coming up this way. And I almost see that as the lightning of that throat chakra energy, because it's sitting at the same place that it was in the other card. And it's almost like being able to actually vocalize and lifting that energy up, lifting the veil up over the self so that other people can actually know who you are and know you truly. As this is happening, there seems to be this emergence of something different in the background. I don't think it's supposed to be this, but for me, when I look at this card, it almost looks like this snake that's rising from the fire, and it's staring at this bird with this one red eye. And so there is something, again, going back to that energy of transformation, a heavy element of transformation, but it's almost as though the transformation someone has undergone has summoned something, whether this is another individual or if this is just a new energy that's coming into our life. For some of you, it might be a protective spirit that is being attracted. But we do have on the very bottom here, we have guidance, and I'm hearing take the second one, and we have universal spirit. So it's almost as though we're coming into a space where we're merging with our universe in whatever context and whatever flavor that might take. For me, for example, you guys, if you've been watching me for a really long time, you know that I'm really into like non-duality. Others of you, you might be experiencing it a different way, as though the universe is something outside of you that you are communicating with, right? But this is where we come into that unification and that understanding that we're co-creating with spirit. Now, this is interesting that this card comes out next, because this is my Lord Shiva, not card, scroll, Lord Shiva scroll. I have two of them in here. One looks like a trident and one looks like this. And it's because of the presence of this right here. So there's something about the third eye for someone that is now open. And so you may be meditating more. You may be having more experiences. You may be finding that your dreams are a lot more vivid. You may be finding that the things that you think of manifest in your reality. You may think of a person and they're calling you immediately. Just that interconnection is starting to open up, right? So that the universe and you seem to be communicating with one another. Now, this right here is morphing on me. I'm almost seeing this as that snake that's rising up here, but now that snake is turning in on itself. This is where we become that transformative force. So someone here, as you're merging into this new energy, you're finding that you are, in fact, the transformative force. That this transformation that's taking place inside of you is something that's now also mirroring on the outside of you. This is something that it feels a little bit like if we have friends and family that we speak to, they're starting to notice. They're starting to notice that there's something a little bit different. Now, it's funny because this one's a little funny to me. It looks like a brain, and it looks like a brain with eyeglasses on. There's something that we may be intellectually analyzing at this time. And I do feel that this is in the future, but for right now, this one's speaking to me about right now. We may be intellectually analyzing something. There is a guidance here to release that need to analyze and to allow the self to experience. The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm being drawn to the bottom of the deck, and the bottom of the deck has this card here, which is domination, but it's reversed. And so when this is reversed, what this is saying to me is that we have to release our control, right? We have to release our control so that what we're stepping into is this energy of partnership. Again, we have that theme of the two coming together. Again, this one globe, right? So it's the unification of things. For some of you, it may just be implying that you're starting to understand the oneness, right? How things piece together, our place within it, and its place within us. Okay. You're trying so hard to get my attention. Okay, give me 1 second. Come on. Come on. Whee! There you go. Okay, this is the big one. She's not the one that was here the other day. You want up here too? There's not enough WAP up here. I'm so sorry. She's fine just resting her head on my knee, apparently. Oh, you're pawing at me. That's too cute, but I can't do it. I'm sorry. Okay, so one of the cards that's coming forward is the cartographer, and the cartographer is about crossroads exploration, really mapping things out. This may be something that somebody's trying to do. They're trying to understand exactly what's going on, what's happening, and this is going to be a very hard question to answer for yourself. One of the things that happens when we're trying to figure everything out for ourselves is that can become the distraction from the actual thing that's taking place. Okay, hold on, let me back up. Okay. And when we're distracted from the actual thing that's taking place, we can miss things. And then what we find is that we get stuck. So this is why the guidance of releasing that need for control is coming up, because you will find the answers that are important eventually. The important thing is that you're allowing the experience. Again, just kind of confirmation. We have the storyteller. This is viewpoints and control. And so this is basically one thing that happens when we try to over-intellectualize our experiences and we try to find the answer. What we're doing is we're grasping from answers from the viewpoint of someone who doesn't have all the answers, right? So we don't understand necessarily the terrain that we're operating in, and yet we're trying to describe and name the landmark. Do you know what I'm saying? So we don't know everything, and we don't necessarily even understand what's going on, and yet we're trying to explain this one thing. So this is why it's hands throwing shadow puppets, right? It looks like animals, but it's not. It's actually hands. So this is why it's important to release that control, to not need to have all the answers right away, because the true answer, what you will find in the future, is probably something that you can't actually come to at this time. More information is required. And that information comes with time. Here we have the vengeance, we have overcoming slights, and a choice. Okay, and clarify that for me, please. They just said that it's not about the, okay, let me take that. Okay, this one too. Okay, so, okay. It's not about the vengeance, overcoming slights, and a choice. It's about what the hands are doing. Notice that there's an anchor, and that hand has released the anchor. So for someone here, the reason why we may be trying to search for our answers is because it makes us feel grounded, right? We feel like we'll get lost if we don't have those answers. You're being told that basically you're not going to get lost if you don't have those answers. If you release the need for having those answers, what you're going to find is that you're actually flying, right? You're letting go of the anchor that's grounding you. This is the thing that's keeping somebody stuck, in other words. So for whoever that's for. And then I get that the fourth card here requires some other things taking place. So let's see. Oh, okay, the Waker. All right. They told me to throw stones, so that's what we're doing. Goodness, they're pulling out all the stops today. Okay. Watch out. So the Waker is about reflection and awareness, but it's an awareness and reflection of the outside. It's not necessarily a reflection and awareness of the inside. So what's going on here? Okay, so we have the garnet, we have the grounding again, and the grounding is way over here. And so it's needing to release the need for answers that ground us. It's not that grounding is bad. It's that we have to release that anchor, that safety net, right? That's what those answers are. They're our safety net. And what you're really being challenged to do here is to trust. Here what we have is we have the citrine and the malachite sitting on top of the storyteller. Sorry about that. I had to get the puppy's face off the cards. The citrine and the malachite are sitting on top of the storyteller. And so again, part of this need to control our ability to have the answers right now, it's because that's how we maintain our personal power in some way. And so if you're able to let your personal power not be attached to this idea of having answers and knowing what's going on. For some of you, this might be feeling that your sense of identity is in understanding how to explain things to people, right? Or in your ability to have all the answers all the time. Sometimes not having the answers and not being able to explain something is really the powerful thing. So we don't have to marry our personal power in with, well, I have to know what's happening to me. This is an allowing and a trusting, again, back to the green malachite, of the heart space. So you're being asked basically to trust in your own story and the way that it's unfolding, rather than deriving a sense of, personal power or control from having all the answers. there is this prophecy stone sitting next to it, and I'm being shown this card as well. So the prophecy stone for me, it's not necessarily a stone that helps me get information. It is a stone for me of grounding, but it's grounding in a spiritual sense, right? So you have garnet, which is very much a grounding of energy bodies and 3D sense, whereas the prophecy stone for me is about my more higher nature and my mystical experiences, and grounding those experiences down in a way that I can integrate, and that this is what causes transformation. So you're being asked to let go for the need of control, of having the answers, of understanding everything, have the experience, and then allow yourself to integrate that experience down. Integrating that experience down eventually will give you those answers. It's moving into this bloodstone, another stone of the heart and of grounding, right? And this is saying that these energies and that energy of the garnet will be the culmination. You will have your answers. You will basically have the answers that are important anyway. But it does require this release for now so that the experiences can be had, because it's going to take many experiences in order to come to those answers. Here what we have is we have this orange stone. It's carnelian, and it's sitting next to the guidance card. And this is actually really beautiful together. I don't know if you can see it, so I'm going to show you these two right here. And for some of you, there is this energy that has been with you your whole life. So for some of you, this might be a spirit guide. For some of you, it might be an ancestor. Again, I'm being drawn to this crone energy. And this is basically saying that by working with this energy, you can get a lot further faster. Some of you may have been feeling that pull to work with that energy recently, which is probably why it's coming out in this reading. But for others of you, this is about partnering with the inner child, because that is also located in that sacral space. Being able to partner with both the inner child and your shadow, and allowing those two energies to guide you. Not that, again, not speaking psychology here, I'm speaking from a shamanic standpoint, that shadow is our dragon, right? And in that shadow, once we're able to ally with it, it speaks to us, right? The way that we feel, those triggers, those things, they're telling us a lot of information, and being able to use that information in order to help ourselves grow, in order to help ourselves heal, in order to help ourselves make decisions that are the best for us. Eventually, the shadow, the angry shadow, the acerbated, traumatized shadow, as it heals, it gives way to something that I call the observer. And the observer is keenly aware of the outside information that it's getting, and it can help us make very positive changes and decisions for our life. So someone here is, this is what you're coming into. You're coming into this place where, again, this partnership is taking place. And in this partnership, you're understanding the symbolic language is taking place outside of you, and this taking place inside of you. There may be a partnership taking place between the inner child and the shadow and yourself. And this seems to be something that transforms our understanding of a universal consciousness, oneness again. So this is a little longer for me. And so I hope that this reading, whoever this message is for, that this resonates for you. And until next time. Boop.